Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Paul Simon Piri Mzakazi here, and I'm your host today on our first episode, season 1 of TIKAMBE with Paul. And the topic that we have today is Mother Clay. It's a little bit poetic anyway, but then it has got a lot in it that you and me will dive into so that we understand exactly what we mean when we say Mother Clay. Now, Mother Clay, it is just a poetic word that I was just playing around with it. Clay coming from the soil. Mother, we know Mother Nature, the universe, and everything that constitutes the mother. Something that gives birth to something. Something that gives birth to someone, the mother. Now, when you combine the two, the clay, the soil, and the mother, which means the mother is able to produce something, or the mother is able to create something. But at the same time, the mother is able to mold something. Now, having this understanding, I just want to bring something to your attention. And I don't know exactly where your situation and your season currently is at the moment. But have you ever been in a situation where you are broken and you feel your brokenness has got no hope? I don't know really exactly how you are feeling right now regarding what you feel. There are some of us that we are broken nearly every week, or we are broken nearly every month, and certainly don't understand why this brokenness. Some of us maybe it's relationship brokenness, marriage brokenness, divorce brokenness, sexual brokenness. I don't know really exactly what is breaking you right now. But when you look at today, Mother Clay, not all brokenness is a curse, and not all brokenness comes with a negative energy. There are certain brokenness that align us to where we are supposed to be. Now let's go back to the clay in the potter's hand, in the African setup. To those that still remember those olden days where you play around with the soil, you can make a sort of almost of a human being, or you make a pot, you make a table, you make a car out of the clay. But I've also noticed that the same soil that you can use to create a car, the same soil, you can break that car, mold it very well, and make it into a cup. This is exactly what I mean with brokenness. So some of you, in the design of the universe, first of all, today, in this season, you are a cup that is keeping water for people to draw and to drink from. But in another season, that cup might not be necessary. So it might need to be a pot so that it accommodates a lot of water or contain a lot of water for a lot of people to benefit. So for us to transform the cup into a pot, it just doesn't happen just right there and then, which means we have to break it into something that we want to create. So the brokenness there doesn't necessarily mean that we have dismantled everything about you, that we have created something negative about you. No, it simply means we are aligning you to something more better. And this is something that I want to tell someone here, that sometimes when you are broken or you're broken down into something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are broken to be punished, or you are broken that it just ends there. Sometimes you are broken so that you can be created with a bigger heart. You are created, recreated, you are formed once more into something that fits a particular season. Because every season that we go through, every season that you're exposed to, there's a certain disposition in your purpose, in your mission, and in your standing that needs to be there. And for that to happen, which means there's a certain brokenness that you are going to experience. And this literally is something that a lot of people will not agree with. This is simply because the pain of enduring the brokenness humanly is just too much, that you feel this brokenness wasn't worth it, or it was unfair, in other words. But this is a brokenness that is actually taking you to where you are supposed to be. This is because every day in our human existence we are being formed. And for one, you cannot be formed without being broken. So every day when we tell ourselves that I want to be a better version of myself, I want to be a better version than I was in the previous season, which simply means we should also be ready to be broken. So you cannot be formed without be broken. So something has to be broken for it to be formed into what it's supposed to be. And a lot of us, a lot of you are going to experience this brokenness. God is going to break you using your friends. God is going to break you using the most treasured relationship. Not that God wants to take away that good relationship, but God is accommodating a bigger version of that goodness that you have seen. So do not in that phase, do not really curse yourself. In that phase, do not be really so much that you need to be so tough on yourself, that maybe thinking that you are not enough, thinking that maybe there's something wrong with you, as other people say, maybe there's a fault in the star, there's a fault in the sky. No, you are absolutely all right. But the only thing is that something needs to be enlarged within you. And that is why a lot of people say pain changes. Of course, pain changes. There are some people that have experienced a lot of brokenness and they have never been the same. Some have decided to become negative. Some have decided never to love again. Some have decided never to believe in love again. Or some have decided never to trust again. But that's just the human perception of everything. The most important thing is when you are experiencing a certain brokenness, when Mother Clay within you is being modified or molded into something that you have grown familiar with, into something that seems unfamiliar, the only thing you can do is to be still. Of course, humanly speaking, that might not be possible, because you would want to understand, why should I get into the new normal? Why should I adapt myself to this new environment? That is justifiable. But the more you ask yourself these questions, the more you should also give room to trust the process. And I've just been reflecting. Before we have a chick, which means the egg needs to break. Before we can have a caterpillar, which means the larva must have been broken. In order to have a butterfly, which means there's a lot of transformative stages that this insect went through. Even when you look at the life of an eagle, you will understand that in order for an eagle to go through transformation, it hits itself in the rock for it to be able to change the beak, to break away the new feathers, and so on. So it undergoes that pain. So not all pain is there in your life to punish you. Not all pain is there to depress you. Certain pain is necessary, as that is part of the process. You cannot claim success in your life. You cannot claim certain things that needs to be improved in your life without allowing yourself to be broken. Some of us, we need to be broken so that we can realize how much we can love and to how much capacity we can continue to love. And so, in the therapeutic nature and in the language of the soul, you need to give every brokenness the name. So I don't know. What kind of a name would you want to give your brokenness? Because according to Thomas More, when you give a certain brokenness the name, which means it becomes part of your shadow, not something that will be traumatizing you or something that will be tormenting you. No, because you have made it a part of you, and as the process is taking place, and as the process is progressing, you will discover that that thing will begin to become a part of you, and eventually it will not torment you anymore. So then, as I'm getting towards the end of this podcast, one of the things that we need to ask ourselves, how then do we collaborate with Mother Clay when the broken phase or the breaking phase is taking place? One of them is, before you come to acceptance, one of them is give your trauma, give your brokenness a name. And one of the name that you should give it, I don't know what kind of a name would you want to give it. You see, I remember when I lost my father, just the very day and the very moment that I was told that your father is no more, what just clicked in my mind is, it is never enough. Probably that is even the book you're reading right now. It is never enough. So the brokenness of losing my father, the brokenness of losing this man, the name for me to come to terms with the brokenness and to see what is there for me to be broken like this, the name that helped me to start healing is, it is never enough. So whenever I remember that I lost my father, the only thing that comes to me is, it is never enough. And that pain, that brokenness in itself, once you befriend it that way, it will never become your enemy, but it will be something that is going to present itself. Then at the end of the day, it is going to lead and direct you to exactly way you should express and feel about it. But at the end, when you finish grieving, the brokenness is done with you. It will not leave you negative, but then it will make you to see other avenues of your life that you didn't take time to listen to. So what is the name that you are giving accept your brokenness. Then number 2, we come to acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean to forget. Acceptance doesn't mean you'll be okay. I have often seen people that have accepted their brokenness, they have accepted their situation, but they're still not okay. What it means to accept, it simply means to befriend. It simply means to be able to say, I see you, you are there, I feel the pain, I feel you, but it is going to be all right. It is going to be well. We are going to get through this and everything is going to be okay. So how much have you accepted your brokenness? I don't know if it is in your business, if it is in your relationship. I don't know if it is in your marriage. I don't know if it is divorce. With all due respect, I don't know if it is death. How much have you befriended that situation? And when I mean accepting, in my podcast, TIKAMBE with Paul, I'll tell you accepting simply means to feel, to face, and to be in the moment of that situation. Number 3, allow the soul to express itself. There is a notion sometimes where they'll tell you, no, move on, everything is okay. I mean, this shouldn't take you long to heal and to become better. When you allow the soul to express itself, which simply means, do you feel like screaming? Do you feel like crying? You see, one of the things that have really affected most of us is we are too quick to tell ourselves that we are okay, even when we are not okay. Do not deprive yourself not to feel good. Actually, not feeling good is part of the healing process of your brokenness. So are you able to scream to say, you know what, people, I am not okay. You know what, people, I am hurt and broken. Just by that mere expression, that to be able to tell you that you are on the healing journey and you're becoming human. It doesn't make you less human, but it makes you more human. And actually, it is the pinnacle of when you are celebrating your humanity. So how much do you allow your soul to express itself? How much do you allow yourself to burst? How much do you allow to grab your pillow and just hold it with that fist? Do you feel anger? Do you feel mixed emotions? Feel it. That is the language of the soul. Daniel Mauritius, one of the authors on inner healing, has got the word that says, the moment in which someone is expressing their brokenness is another way to which we say, this is sacred. So how much time have you given yourself? How much sacred moment have you given yourself to feel whatever you are feeling? The other point that I want you to take note of is accept that there are certain brokenness or wounds or trauma that will take long to heal. One of them is the trauma of death. Never should you encourage people to say, it passed, move on. I mean, how long are you going to cry? You do not understand how much the soul would want you to remain into that. So give yourself enough time. Give yourself enough time to mourn. I love what Robert Hess, one author who wrote the book Coming Home to Myself. There's a word and a statement he like using, sacrament of the present moment. Living the sacramental present moment. What it simply means is be available to your problems. Be there, because there are certain wounds that will never leave you the same. There's a certain brokenness that is going to happen in your life, and you will never be the same. So accept that I will never be the same without this person. I'll never be the same. I'm going to tell you, it has never been the same after my father died. At home, things have never been the same. The way we look at things as a family has never been the same. And so this is something that we are living as a sacrament of the present moment. We are able to accept that he is gone, but our lives will never be the same. There are certain things, friends, that are going to happen to you, and it will never be the same. It will never work the same in your life. So how much are you available? How much do you feel the presence of that situation? Another point that I want you to take note of is, remember that beyond every brokenness there's light. So what I'm trying to say here is, you are going to be okay. Of course, there are certain things where they'll be like, no, it will never be the same. Yes, I understand. But are you able to find peace in that trouble? Are you able to find peace in that situation? Are you able to find peace in whatever you are going through? So by that, you are going to be very, very much okay. You are going to be fine. You are going to pick yourself up, and you are going to go. Another point that I'd want to bring to your attention when we're talking of Mother Clay and the brokenness is, number one, I want you to know and to understand that every pain, everything that goes through to you is strength. Thomas More, there's a word he used, or rather a statement, to say the brokenness of man is the beginning of his strength. The brokenness of man is the beginning of his strength. And I want to tell you that your brokenness, the brokenness that you feel, it is not that is going to reveal your weakness, but it is the beginning of your strength. You're going to realize that after that brokenness, after that heartache, after that disappointment, after that modification, you are going to be more stronger than you were. And that is why sometimes it is necessary for certain people of us to be broken, so that it can be clear and it can be revealed to us of how much strength we have in ourselves, of how much strength we have been keeping to ourselves. Last but not the least, in today's brokenness, we are going to discuss more of other techniques of brokenness, but as of today, always be present to your struggles. It is going to end, it is going to play games with you, but always be available to your struggles. Do not run away. They want attention. They want to be felt. They want to be understood. And this is where other theologians and psychologists, they'll tell you, taming the baby within. So this is the moment at which you need to talk so much to your baby within. Sit yourself down and be able to tell you, it is no longer the same. They went. We lost him. We lost her. I lost him. I lost her. Baby within, we are going to be fine, and we are going to be okay in everything that we do, in everything that we can be. And through that, we are going to navigate every kind of brokenness that can happen in our lives. Friends, I want to say I'm sorry for the kind of brokenness we've been going through. I'm sorry for what you're feeling right now. I'm sorry for what you're going through right now. But let me tell you this. One day, someday, as Tupac Shakur at some point said, I'm not sure of what to tell you. I'm not sure when. I'm not sure which year. But one day, someday, it is going to be all right. So it is going to be fine with you. All I can tell you, remain there. Hang in there. You can follow the steps that I've already discussed. Then look at yourself. How are you going to navigate around this pain? But eventually, not all pain is permanent. Not everything is permanent. One day, the chapter is going to change. And I don't mean to excite you so much. And I don't mean that I raise so much hope in you. For now, I want to tell you that the very process that you seem that it is dark and hard, it is the very process that is going to lead you to your strength, to your breakthrough, and where you're supposed to be. As other authors have said, instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Why not say, what am I learning in all this? Allow me to repeat the words I said about Thomas More. The brokenness of a human being is the beginning of his strength. And so I want you to keep this in mind. Whatever is breaking you, you should know that it's going to reveal a certain potential, capacity, and a certain breakthrough in your life. And I pray that may you have enough grace, the capacity to be able to let go of that brokenness, so that you can be molded into a new creation, into what the universe desires you to be. I pray you have enough strength within yourself to accept that which needs to be accepted, to accept that which you cannot control, but to trust the Lord that in this situation, I would try to be still so that I see where I'm intended to be and to go. And it is through that we begin to navigate and to find strength in our brokenness. Are you going to allow Mother Clay to mold you into who you are supposed to be, not what you molded yourself to be? Are you going to allow now brokenness to have a different face and meaning in your life? Trust the process and know that this brokenness, one way or the other, it is going to lead you to your destination. And I want to thank each one of you for joining me today. I have been your host, Paul Simon Pirim Zakazi. On our topic today, Mother Clay on TIKAMBE with Paul. And I hope you have been blessed, you have been inspired, you have learned one or two things. Go out there, go and look at your brokenness with a different view, with a meaning, and with your name. Don't forget to like this video, don't forget to share, comment, and subscribe to the channel Gifted Minds on the segment TIKAMBE with Paul. Today has been the first episode, season 1. Kindly watch out for more episodes, more season coming your way. I wish you God's blessings. I wish you favor. I wish you strength to continue to see goodness and wonders in your brokenness. It's been with me, Paul Simon Piri. Until next week, same time, same space. Bye-bye.